What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and well, as y'all know, the new Audi 10F did release yesterday on GTA Online, which I'm really not surprised some of the cars are coming out a little bit later. I would say they're probably going to do that at least until the next DLC, which if they do follow that schedule, should be sometime in December, but nonetheless, at least we finally have a newer Audi. I personally would really love to see this vehicle go available in the Special Works garage as well. I did end up moving the car over one space as well, just because I wanted to show more of the detail of this vehicle, because I have to admit, I do think Rockstar is doing a really good job with the car designs on this game. I mean, every vehicle in this update so far looks really close to their real-life counterpart, which I would say is probably going to make a lot of players very happy. And not only that, the new Audi 10F also has a lot of customization, which is probably going to make a lot of people like this car even more. Now, if you are looking to buy the Audi 10F, you're looking to spend a little under $1.7 million. This car is going to be priced at $1,675,000, which honestly isn't too bad. But this is also going to be a sports car, so it might not be the fastest thing out there, at least compared to the Hyper, aka the supercars, but nonetheless, let's go do an outside look of the Audi 10F right now and take a closer look at this vehicle with all the doors up. Then we do have to take this thing on a quick test drive around the city as well, just to see how it might drive, and then finally do that quick top speed test as well, just to see what this car can get to, even though the odometers are kind of broken at times. And if you guys are interested, I will show the customization at the end of the video as well. So now taking an outside look at the new Audi 10F, I think we can all agree this car does look really good. I love the overall detail of it. Rockstar really is killing it with the design of these cars so far. Don't mind the scratch on the side, by the way. I did run into something on the way over to this parking spot. And then taking a quick look at the engine as well, you can see the detail of that, which is always nice to see. It looks like the brace on the back is matching the color of the vehicle, and then the rest of it is going to be carbon fiber as well, so I do like how that looks. And taking a look at the back of the car as well, Rockstar really does make a lot of these new vehicles look very similar to their real-life counterpart, which I find this to be really awesome. Maybe it's the fact of like getting them to be closer, or they don't want to like design them crazily like they did before, who really knows. But I will also show the interior view of the car here in a second, which I have a feeling everybody has probably seen what the interior of these cars already look like. Then obviously circling back to the front here, you guys will also see the front because, well, you know, the engine's in the back of this car, but that's pretty much it. I really am liking this vehicle a lot. Now let's take a listen to that engine, and then I also want to show you guys the interior. So now taking a quick look at the interior here, as I did mention before, there's really nothing special about this, although I do like how the stitching in here does match the color of the vehicle. I do have to admit the interior really isn't all that bad looking for the most part. I really don't think a lot of players are playing in first person mode on GTA, but at least if you are, the interior is going to have some nice detail to it. But now besides that, let's go drive this car around the city a little bit, and then I will do the top speed test by the tunnel and Sandy Shores. So I'm actually really happy the Audi 10F is finally added. I would say a lot of players have most likely been waiting for this car over many of the others, and I myself have also wanted to see the newer Audi added into the game, considering the 8F, I believe that car is called, was added into GTA when the game first released. So it's nice to see a newer model of the R8. It's also kind of sad to me the fact that the R8 is going to be getting, well, I think this is the last generation of the V10 model is what I was reading, but at least they're going to have one more car available before they actually stop making them, and I'm really looking forward to seeing that new Mustang on the street as well. Who knows, maybe that car can make its appearance in GTA. Also, that was some really bad driving there, but let's go drive this thing around the city a little bit more and see how this car drives. So far for being a sports car, I'm kind of impressed with the handling of it so far. I mean, normally the sports cars on GTA can be kind of weird. I believe that car is pronounced the Pariah or Farah, whatever you want to call it. That's obviously probably one of the fastest sports cars in the game, and for a while there, it was also the fastest car in the entire game. I do believe it was nerfed, at least I think it was. I honestly haven't driven that car in so long, I really don't know, to be honest, but having another sports car like this is definitely going to be really nice to see, and would also be really good is if I can actually drive the car and stop running into stuff. Now, one thing I do like about it as well is going to be the lights. Unfortunately, I did just run into that pole over there and or like that railing, so I kind of broke part of it. I'm also really digging the engine sound of this car as well. I really do think they did a great job with that, and I think a lot of players are going to appreciate the way this car might sound. I don't think it sounds like many of the other cars in the game. We all know sometimes it could be a little copy and pasted, which is kind of understandable, but it's also kind of nice seeing some of the cars sound a lot different than others. So I did end up going to my auto shop just to get this car fixed because I really didn't want to drive this thing around having a broken headlight. And then of course after I pulled out of the garage I managed to run into something else. But let's go jump onto the highway and see how this car is going to drive on there. So obviously jumping into first person, we all know how many of the car's speeds on GTA tend to be around like 120 miles an hour, to like maybe like 140 unless you use like one of these special works cars, which I would really like to see this car added into that garage in time, but who knows? Maybe that could happen. But regardless, guys, on the highway right now, hitting some bumps, hit 140 miles an hour there, which is pretty impressive. I'm going to try to go this way here, dodge all this traffic. So sitting on the highway in a sports car doing about 129 of 130 is going to be pretty impressive. We all know how the sense of speed in GTA is honestly kind of weird, but having a car that's pretty fast like this is probably going to be pretty awesome. I would say this car can easily do races and stuff if you guys were into like PvP or something like that. And you could easily use this car on like a lot of the missions in the game, or maybe even try this thing out on some of the time trials. It's probably going to come down if you really do want to run this car all that much. Now from the driving I have done on the highway, this car seems to be staying around 130 most of the time. Now obviously hit a bump, the car is going to become really fast and do like 145 or something like that. So in the city this car is probably going to be a blast, but going in the outside view right now, I am loving the look of this car so much. I would say a lot of players are probably going to pick up the Obey 10F, and I feel like a lot of people have been waiting for this car to be added into the game. But now arriving over to where the tunnel is here in Sandy Shores, almost in Paleto Bay, let's see what the top speed of the Obey 10F really is. Even though, as I did mention before, the odometer in this game can be kind of weird, so I don't have like that real odometer that the PC players have. But at least I can get a general idea of what this car can really do as I'm going to pass the older generation. You can really see the difference in these cars as well, which is pretty awesome. I really have been waiting for a newer Audi R8 to be in the game, and seeing this car added is honestly awesome. So right now on flat ground, the car did boost up to 131 miles an hour there, which is kind of weird. It like got a burst of speed. Could have been like a little bump in the road or something like that, but for a sports car to average around like 130, I would say is going to make this car very viable on many of the things in GTA, and also really fun to use as well. And not only that, you can do it in mad style, because this car looks really good and also very close to its real life counterpart, as I mentioned before. It is kind of funny to me the fact that I feel like a lot more of the newer vehicles do look very close to the real cars, which if I had to guess, I would say a lot of people are not going to mind that. Now, let me know what you guys think about the Obey 10F in the comments below. And as I did mention before, you are going to have to spend around $2 million total to get this vehicle and max it out, and or customize it a good amount as well, which really isn't all that bad for a vehicle in GTA. And not only that, you also get yourself a car that can average over 130 miles an hour on the highway normally, which is still going to be really impressive for the speed logic of GTA Online. And not only that, this vehicle also has a lot of great customization that really will make this car even that much more awesome.
Rather safe than sorry, I guess. Whatever you desire. Technology and budget permitting. How many cars you got in this garage again? Think long and hard. Life is hard when you can have anything. Do you need a drink? Bubbles or something? There you go. Making decisions is stressful. If you can think it, I can do it. Girl is looking good. You've got an eye for this stuff. Don't she look pretty? No rush at all. Whatever you desire. Technology and budget permitting. That what you were looking for? How many cars you got in this garage again? Think long and hard. Hope they're tuned like you want them. Those things are almost indestructible. Bodywork to match the driver.